Alright folks, gonna do a quick review here on the new Athearn -9. They've been doing these for quite a bit of years. This is from their newest release, which is the Norfolk Southern, with the Operation Lifesaver paint scheme on it. Typical Athearn ready to run box. Nothing to see here. We're not going to talk about paperwork. It's kind of corny that they continue to put DCC ready on there. So is everything else. Anyways, about the locomotive here. Just want to let you guys know right up front, this is going to be a negative review. So if you don't want to hear real talk, might as well turn it off now. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, folks. Very disappointed in this thing. So, first off, really there's not a lot that actually separates this from a blue box model, which they've been making -9s for nearly 20 years. Pretty much the only real differences on this versus, I actually have one here. This is an actual blue box -9 here. So, as you can see, there's very, very little difference between them. So, it's the exact same shell. They haven't changed it. Really, the only thing that is different about it is it has thinner handrails and it comes pre-assembled. That's it. No other differences. Now, I do have the couplers taken off. It comes with your typical Athearn McHenry couplers, which aren't very good. So I did replace those with KDs. I just have it apart here because I had the shell off trying to figure out what was going on with the decoder. One other thing here is it does have a nose headlight, which is actually incorrect. These actually should have it up at the very top here, which it doesn't. As far as the operation of it, it's okay. I mean, it's not a Kato. I mean, these don't even really hold a candle to the Kato as far as what I'm concerned. Really disappointed with it overall. And the reason being is just that it isn't a lot better than what this is here, which came out 20 years ago. It's basically the exact same thing. So you would think that a company would actually improve their product over 20 years, but they really haven't. So just to take it apart here. And it has the same typical setup as what almost every other ready to run has. It has the proprietary Athearn board on there, which you have your typical 9-pin or 8-pin connection. You can run either or. And it does have all of their bulbs pre-wired in there, which are not LED. Go figure. And also it comes with Athearn's nice handy flimsy handrails that are very, very easy to break. I've already busted one up front here, which I did manage to glue on. So a lot of people do love Athearn, and you know, I'm sorry for you, but I just don't agree. And the reason being is I'm going to show you here. So people like the dog Bachmann a lot, which I can understand to some degree. But this is one of their engines from 1996. I know it's from 1996 because I still have the receipt in the box for it. It says a -8. Not a -9, but a -8. Very, very similar engine. Similar details, plastic handrails, you know, your typical old school incandescent lighting. The weight in this is actually a lot better than what either of these are. So this engine will actually pull quite a bit. I upgraded it to DCC and sound, or not sound, but I did have an NCE decoder in it. Put LEDs in it, runs like a dream, doesn't make a sound. reasonable detail, pretty typical of any mid-90s engine, but a couple details that I do want to point out to you. These do not have working ditch lights, as do these. Also do not have ditch lights. But also, at least they do include one of the cables there, which these do not. And Athearn always tries to pride themselves as being a leader in detail, which they can't beat something from 20 years ago, apparently. But this is a product that Bachmann had out in '96, so how have they improved as a company? Well, this is the exact same engine from 2003. So, some of the things that got better on this one, obviously there's more detail. They include the sunshades on here, better wipers, more accurate colors. And it also does have, it's kind of hard to see on here, but it actually does have the MU cables, which this does not. So this is a product that was out in 2003. It also came with DCC on board. That's also something that Athearn does not give you. I put sound in this engine fairly easily. Runs like a dream. Really nothing to complain about. But in the course of 7 years, or less, you see how they improve their product. You know, and then you look at Athearn and you really don't see that same progression. And to be honest, the only real reason I bought this engine is because it's in a paint scheme that nobody else makes at this point in time. Believe me, if it were up to me, I'd definitely buy a different brand. And I will probably not be buying any more of these Dash 9s from Athearn if I can avoid it. MTH is going to be coming out with, I think they actually are coming out with the Operation Lifesaver paint scheme as well. So I will probably pick one of those up if I really want to get one of these. I would have gotten Kato, but they don't actually make this paint scheme, and they only did one ever in Norfolk Southern, and I don't feel like painting and doing them myself, so I pretty much just buy things that are ready to run, or I do some slight modification to them. So, speaking of modification, you know, all is not lost on this engine. I think of this more as a template. It's not really something that you would just take out of the box and realize that it's perfect. It's a starting point. It needs work. The motor, easily replaceable. Lighting, very easy to switch to LED. I mean, you can put a sound decoder in here. There's plenty of room in the shell. You can add weight if you want to. Room for a speaker. And I really think the operation of it with a really nice decoder probably will be a lot better as far as the motor operation. Something like an NCE, ESU, even a Tsunami would probably run just fine in here. You know, and you add a little bit of weathering to it. And then you have a pretty neat locomotive. For people that are real sticklers for detail, it's probably not very hard to switch this from a nose headlight up until the top there. That's probably something I won't bother with. Also, ditch lights. You can put working ones in there if you want to. Again, probably not something I'm going to bother with. This is going to be an engine that's going to be filling out some lash ups. It's going to be the second or third engine in line. It's never going to be out front. So it doesn't need to be the most detailed thing out there. But overall, would I buy another one of these if there's another product available from another manufacturer? Probably not. And it seriously does make me want to question any future Athearn ready-to-run purchases, because I don't believe that they're making that good of a product, especially not for the price. This is a $90 engine. You can probably do a lot better at that cost. So, in closing, just want to say that, you know, Athearn, not the type of company that's progressed as far as what you thought they have. They still have a lot of flaws. This is basically a blue box that's built by Chinese people. So that's what you're paying for. So that is all for this review.